so much for your time. I am Pius Kojo Baka, and look now at our stories. This afternoon, the NPP is mounting a strong defense against the public perception that newly approved vice presidential candidate Dr. Matthew Puku is arrogant. Now, the minister's response to issues of national interest more recently has response to issues of erratic power supply, which drew a lot of backlash and has come to the limelight fueling the arrogance tag. But Ejapa Mensah, who worked closely with Dr. Matthew Puku as a deputy energy minister, says his confidence is mistaken for arrogance. Pretty soon we shall hear from Ejapa Mensah on that. But lawyer and senior vice president of Imani Africa, Kofi Bento, says the perception of Matthew Puku is not all bad.
And the choice is for Mr. Bawumia. It can't be wrong if it is his choice. So let that be clear. And then two is whether we like the choice or not is irrelevant. The issue therefore should be whether in the scheme of things, politics is strategy, it is calculation. So it is not about whether even he likes him or not. It is about whether in the calculation, he made the right choice to achieve his goal. I think he hit it spot on. Everybody can talk. Have you ever come across a choice like this, which people didn't have anything to say about? So everybody can talk, and the irony is that the people who he's campaigning against are the ones trying to advise him. As in, they are saying, oh, this man is not good for you. You should have picked the other person. In other words, if you pick this man, then you are going to lose. So pick the other person so you can win against us. Clearly doesn't, wash. So let those fundamentals be clear. Then you have what is being said everywhere. Napo is arrogant. You know something? I think that's not so much a negative. If you have a person like Napo who has been in the limelight, in the politics of Bantama and MPP, been at the forefront for decades, been in some of the most controversial ministries, education, recently energy, and when he is elevated to the highest political position he's ever occupied, all people have to say about him is that he's arrogant. Maybe you will see the positive I'm talking about.
They say more, but the arrogance tag resonates.
That's the point.
Which I suppose you agree with me.
Oh, no. Yeah. Hold on. Look, in Ghana, arrogance is a term of art. It does not mean what it means in the dictionary. In Ghana, arrogant also means too known. You heard that before?
Yep.
Those of us who work in think tanks, who do analysis, who talk on radio, we hear that every day. In Ghana, arrogant means you are articulate. You know how to string your thoughts. You know how to make an argument. That's what arrogant means. In Ghana, arrogant means you're assertive. It means you know what you want and you push for it and you insist on it. In Ghana, they'll call you arrogant, they'll call you too know. In Ghana, arrogant means you are analytical. Instead of saying, well, it is this, everybody says it is this, then you are saying, why should it be this? Why can't you consider this and this other option? Immediately you go into analysis, you are too known, you are arrogant. In Ghana, arrogant could even mean you are well organized.
We can also hear from physician and political activist Dr. Arthur Kennedy and, of course, the MP for Cape Coast South constituency, Kweku Rickett-Hagan, who say the perception will go a long way to hurt the party's campaign to remain in power.
Napo shouldn't have made the remarks that he made, both in relation to the Dumso timetable in relation to the Keita Sea Defense Project. I am very sure that knowing Napo, and I've interacted with him a little bit, in his quiet moments, he would wish he had those words back. Those who want to support him must not try and pretend that those who are making these charges are ignorant. We are all complex people, and we all have faults. Those are some of the faults of Napo, but he does also have strengths. I think that those who seek and promote him will do very well, not just to tell us about his strengths, but to acknowledge that some of these things that he said and done, they were not done the best way possible and that they would counsel him to do better. President comes from Attafuah. He was even president and he served in government for longer. I never recall anybody describing President Kufuor as arrogant. So those who do support Napo and wish him well, I think should give him honest perspective so that as a person he can grow.
Humility probably hasn't helped us, but arrogance will not be the alternative. Arrogance will simply not be the alternative.
So you share the view that he will hurt the NPP's tickets?
Napo. You see, and then
on the point of
arrogance. Or humility all comes through communication. And I said, Napo is a friend. He is arrogant. And that is the perception. One thing that troubles me is by the time he made that comment on the energy thing that, you know, he must have known that he's going to be the running mate. That's not too long ago. He either knew or he knew that he was being seriously considered.
And we're suffering under the erratic power.
Yes. Now, people can change their ways when they are looking for something or when they know they are going to get something. Napo is not that type. He was not troubled whether you're going to be a running mate or not. And that one will not prevent him from...
Okay.
And my advice to him is that he will need to tone down in terms of communication.
Away from that, Minister for Interior Henry Quartey is challenging claims a staffer at the office of the Vice President has used national security to demolish a wall around a piece of land belonging to the Ghana Prison Service. Professor Prof Attafuah, the staffer, is in a legal battle with Prison's office over the piece of land in Roman Ridge area. Now, listen to Samuel Okujetu-Ablakwa make the claim on the floor while he was asking the minister questions.
So here we are. The Lands Commission is contesting what the Interior Ministry is telling us. And he's saying that they have given portions of the land to this Professor Prof Attafuah. So same government, conflicting status between Interior Minister and Lands Minister. What are you going to do to really resolve this matter and get the Lands Commission to align with the position of your ministry so that we can protect the Boston Institute lands which belongs to the Ghana Prison Service? This gentleman, Professor Prof Attafuah, who is a senior advisor to the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, according to the Ghana Prison Service, in these documents I have here, has gone to demolish portions of the fence that you have told us about, the fence you are constructing. Are you aware that he has led allegedly national security operatives? That is what the Ghana Prison Service is alleging, that they are national security operatives, and they have demolished portions of the fence, seeking to take over. Are you aware about this development, and what are you doing to assist the prison service?
But Henry Quartey says the claims are false.
In question is a distinguished gentleman, and for the records, when this matter started, he was not working for the Vice President. Mr. Speaker, the fact that somebody is working for a politician does not restrict him or her from pursuing his or her private business. So that has to be clear. Mr. Speaker, he did say, and he said it's alleged. Mr. Speaker, there isn't anything to substantiate that national security operatives, for that matter, have been assigned, or rather, if you like, approached by the same gentleman to go and demolish. And thirdly, it has not come to my attention that same has been done. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
And we want to stay a while longer on this subject because Henry Quartey has also informed Parliament a private developer has entered into an agreement with the Ghana Prison Service to redevelop the services barracks in Osu. The current barracks will be demolished and housing infrastructure developed by the private developer who will take a piece of land afterwards. Listen to his interaction with Notong MP Samuel Okujetu-Ablakwa on the floor.
Mr. Speaker, the barracks buildings are in a very deplorable state and have remained an issue of concern for prison authorities over the years. Mr. Speaker, we interest you to note that the size of the rooms are very, very small, measuring between 9.5 by 10 feet. Mr. Speaker, most of these junior officers occupy single rooms with their families and have most of their household items, such as furniture, electrical appliances, and others, being kept on the verandas. Mr. Speaker, in some cases, the families are more than 2, 3, and they sleep in the same 9 by 5 by 10 with their parents. You can imagine the things that... Mr. Speaker, over the years, the prison authorities have been struggling to secure funds to expand and improve upon accommodation at the barracks without success. The service has for the past 20 years received proposals from developers for the development of the headquarters and the barracks in order to address accommodation challenges for the officers, but same has been unsuccessful. This can be attributed to the fact that either developers could not meet the needs of the service or they lost interest along the line. Mr. Speaker, in 2021, Ghana Prison Service received a proposal from a developer for the development of the cantonment's barracks. The proposal met the expectations of the service, under which accommodation ranging between 1-bedroom apartments to 3-bedroom apartments would be provided for 440 officers, as against the current 330 within the barracks. Mr. Speaker, the project will also see the construction of a new headquarters building, and all other existing structures will be redeveloped into modern facilities. Right Honorable Speaker, this proposal has been received and endorsed by the officers as well as the Prison Council Service.
Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from the Honorable Minister for the Interior that this proposal from the private developer, what is the developer getting in return? I don't believe that this is some Father Christmas who has just descended upon the prison service to do them a favor. What is he getting in return? Is he getting portions of the land? If he is, what sites, what acreage? Let's know what the consideration is. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Obviously, the developer would want to get portions of the land. Mr. Speaker, I do not have the accurate size or measurement of the acres of land that the developer would get. But the answer to his question is that yes, the developer will get portions of the land. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Away from prison service lands to some other stories we have for you, the governing board of the National Identification Authority has rejected the petition by the Public Service Workers Union, Trades Union Congress, demanding the removal of Executive Secretary Professor Prof Attafuah. On July 1, nearly 1,000 NIA staff members sent a petition to the president to demand the removal of the Executive Secretary. The petition alleged that Professor Attafuah engaged in practices contrary to the labor laws, the Human Resource Manual and Policy Framework for Ghana Public Services, violations of state laws, and, of course, poor corporate governance structure, as well as selective administrative injustice in recruitment. However, in a statement on July 5, the governing board said the workers' complaint was not a true representation of the Executive Secretary's dedication to the job. As such, the statement stressed that the petition was unwarranted. And my colleague Papani Ashali joins me via Zoom with details of the statement from the NIA Board. Papa, thanks so much for joining me on Joy Newsroom. What reasons did the board give for rejecting the demands of the aggrieved staff? Unmute for me, Papa.
Pius, can you hear me now?
I can loud and clear.
Great. So in the statement that we have from the Executive Secretary, it starts by talking about the fact that they have utmost confidence in the Executive Secretary for the NIA. It says that the governing board wishes to express its complete confidence in the Executive Secretary's integrity, competence, experience, and resourcefulness in the performance of his duties, including the advancement of the interests of NIA workers. Now, responding to some of the specific allegations and demands that the group had made, it starts to say that contrary to NIA's staff's assertion that NIA does not have an existing condition of service, it says, contrary to that, they have an existing condition of service document which is being revised to reflect its current statute and also conform to current provisions in the public service manual. It goes on to say that work on the conditions of service document has been done by a 5-member committee constituted by the Executive Secretary of the review of the scheme of service. It goes on to talk about the fact that the governing board is satisfied with the proactive manner in which the Executive Secretary addressed the board's administrative matters, including the payment of SNIT contributions for all staff in the face of the delayed release of funds by the Ministry of Finance. It goes on to talk about the fact that neither the Executive Secretary nor management has recruited or promoted any officer who was not qualified. It was one of the claims that the group had made, that the Executive Secretary was promoting individuals or officers that were not qualified for the respective jobs. And they say the claim about selective injustice is blatantly false and unfair and should be disregarded.
And Michael, we also know that the board took on the aggrieved staff for not using the right channel. Why so?
Yes, they did more than just that. But in terms of the channels that they had used, they relied on an NLC ruling that was given on Wednesday and says that, well, as stated by the National Labour Commission in a hearing on Wednesday into ongoing negotiations between the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, the NIA division of the public sector workers has no right to petition His Excellency the President to remove the Executive Secretary without exhausting internal procedures. It goes on to now be specific about some of the things that the leadership of the staff had done. It says, in conclusion, it is their considered view that the governing board, that the apparent loss of trust in the Executive Secretary among members of the NIA stems primarily from the campaign of deliberate misinformation championed by the leadership of the NIA. Finally, he says that the governing board shares the desire of the NIA staff and indeed all staff of NIA for improvement of their conditions of service and will continue to work with the Executive Secretary. Emphasis that it will continue to work with the Executive Secretary contrary to their demands that he should be removed. So that you have as the statement, 7-page statement coming from the NIA board.
Michael Ashale, thanks so much for that details. We are indeed grateful, Michael. Away from that to the health sector, and the Minister of Health, Dr. Bernard Okoboy, has reiterated the government's commitment to improving healthcare infrastructure and ensuring providers have the necessary resources. He made these remarks in Accra when he handed over 40 Toyota pickups to the Ghana Health Service for distribution to health institutions nationwide. He noted that the vehicles will enhance health service delivery, especially in underserved areas. Seme Fakwesu has more.
Official handover of over 40 Toyota pickups to the Ghana Health Service was conducted by the Minister of Health, Dr. Bernard Okoboy, who presented the vehicles to the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kuma Abraje. During the handover, Dr. Okoboy emphasized the importance of this contribution in improving the delivery of health services. The pickups are intended to enhance the work of various service providers under the Ghana Health Service. Dr. Okoboy spoke to the media emphasizing the initiative's importance to improving healthcare access in rural areas.
We are here this morning to do a very simple but very important ceremony. We are interested in the impact and not the fanfare. So that is why you don't see us with podiums and canopies and all that. But I think the point I want to make is that the president, the Attafuah government is very committed to tooling and retooling Ghana's health care delivery, and for that matter, the health service. And this morning we are here to present over 40 pickups to one of our most distinguished agencies, which is the Ghana Health Service. You know, the Ghana Health Service are the principal agent when it comes to healthcare delivery in the government space, the public space. We have hospitals, health centers, CHIP compounds across the country that have to move on our highways, get medicines. We have occasions where doctors must be picked from the districts or from hospitals to the districts to do outreach. We have district directors at distant places who need to move to remote areas to ensure that vaccines for kids are delivered and the delivery is also monitored. And so this morning, just as we are doing in other areas in healthcare, I'm happy to present on behalf of the Attafuah government and the ministry to present these 40 plus pickups to the Ghana Health Service to advance the cause of healthcare delivery in the country.
Addressing concerns regarding Global Fund medications that had been stocked at the Tema port, the minister assured that all essential medicines have been cleared.
The media work with us to try and make sure that some of the essential medicines at the port, including TB medicines, medicines for malaria and nets, are cleared from the ports. And I'm happy that after we all voiced out and made a passionate appeal, as I speak, we have over 260 containers that have been cleared from the port. So all the TB medicines are out, all the malaria medicines are out. But it appears that we have so much of nets that after clearing all the goods, we've just been informed at the ministry that new discoveries have been made of more mosquito nets. So this morning the GRA informs me that they have put in the systems to gazette them and get those ones out of the port.
Here's the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumar Abuaje.
We have Ghana Health Service represented in all the 261 districts, managing about 8,000 facilities across the country, and so this helps us to move not only staff for work, also reaching the communities with service and making sure the community health centers, this CHIPS compounds, and outreach, especially dropping staff in communities to provide information and services, is going to really help us, especially in the remotest parts of the country. We are ensuring that these ones are going to the most needy districts who need vehicles to make sure it add to our fleet and improve the healthcare delivery at all the levels, especially in the primary level, as part of our primary healthcare retooling to meet our UACs.
The Ghana Health Service is expected to distribute the vehicles to service providers soon. Semifa Rejoice Specials report for Joy News.
I'd like to take you to the pediatric intensive care unit of the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital in the Ashanti region, where essential medical equipment and supplies are urgently needed to keep patients alive. Clinton reports live from that region that life support machines, basic bedding and specialized mattresses for bedridden patients are in short supply, hindering effective healthcare delivery to children in their care. Here's his report.
The pediatric intensive care unit at the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital receives several children with life-threatening conditions. The unit requires sophisticated equipment including chest X-ray, ultrasound and echocardiography to provide life-saving care, but these are in short supply.
If some for 2 months near the by we can now 2 weeks or the Facosa, but or say and I'm bed nay, I could beat me than a China crew.
Head of the Pediatric Intensive Care Unit and Pediatric Critical Care Senior Specialist, Dr. John Apia, highlighting the grave conditions, said the unit also struggles with shortage of reagents.
This unit requires sometimes sophisticated equipment to be put on the patient, like the life support machine, like monitors, machines that tell you what the patient is doing in terms of treatment. We don't have our full complement of equipment, our life support machines. We don't have a full complement again of other resources like bed sheets, and then also basic mattresses that are special, that need to be used specially for patients who lie down for a long time and cannot move and turn around because they develop ulcers, sores on their body. Some of the laboratory equipment that we have also, we need reagents to run them. These are difficult to come by because they are expensive. Most patients in some situations are not able to pay for it. But when you use it and then you run out and don't have money to replace them, the machine sits there without being used.
The Christian Medical Fellowship, Confanochi Teaching Hospital, a Christian interdenominational fellowship of KNUST medical students, made a presentation of medical equipment to the unit to beef up care. The Judah Praise Project provided pediatric pressure mattresses, infusion pumps, and many others to improve immediate life-sustaining interventions, constant care, sophisticated monitoring, and specialized therapies. The group also donated 25,000 cedis to cater for underprivileged patients to foot their bills. Kweku Addison is a committee chairperson for the Judah Praise Project.
And this year, we come through the hospital again and realize that the pediatric intensive care unit lacks so many resources to be able to give the best care possible to their patients. And so we spoke to the head of the unit, and then they gave us a few items, and then we've been able to support them, as you can see here. It would also help the unit pay for the diagnostics and medications for some of the patients as well. And the Ripple mattresses we were able to give to them. You realize that the patients at the ICU, they spend a lot of time there, and some of them develop pressure sores. So the mattresses we are giving to them would decrease or even eliminate the pressure sores that they develop.
Meanwhile, patients who benefited from the donation expressed their joy for the relief.
But say and I'm bed nay at a and I'm come the buy never bore much no mother faco beats me than a China crew. But and I'm bed no mother but mother watch a cry, side effects be all much instead of massive.
Reporting for Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
More on health, the Kolebu Teaching Hospital is uncertain when its only broken radiotherapy machine will be fixed as engineers race to diagnose the problem, leaving patients in dire need of treatment as time ticks away. Patients visiting the hospital for cancer treatment are urging managers to expedite repairs, citing severe impacts on their health. Many, including a breast cancer patient referred from the University of Ghana Medical Center, report being left stranded due to the malfunction.
Based on the type of cancer that I had, I am not supposed to delay in treatment, if the invasive type. And I was scheduled for radiation treatment, which will take 16 working days. But I realized that they were having issues with their machine. It keeps breaking down. Anytime I go, I was scheduled last week, Thursday. I did a Thursday and Friday, and I'm supposed to continue from Monday up to date. After those two treatments that I had, I've never had any. So when we calculate 7 days, I had 2 days out of the 7 days, which is so giving me so much stress. I'm here today not talking for myself alone, but there are a lot of women out there in Kolebu, children, men, that are having the same issue. The whole Ghana currently, only 2 machines that is supposed to be working in Kolebu. The one that I am using has broken down. The one that is working now is the old type that is less effective ASEN, when I said less effective, meaning that it comes with other complications, more complications. But the one that I am supposed to be using has less complications and is much effective, and that is what is broken down. Now, my case here is that not only me, there are a lot of people out there that are waiting to be treated. And realizing that, you know, that it's not the ailment itself that is killing, but the system.
And head of oncology department at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Professor Joe Oyani, says engineers are on site trying to diagnose and fix the machine. However, it is uncertain how long this will take.
All that I can say, I can't tell. All that I can say is that our engineers are on site. They are on it now as I speak. We've been working on it since morning. So I hope they will be able to identify the problem, and then the part will be readily available.
But again,
if the part is not available, then it has to be ordered.
Okay.
Yeah, so I began with an introductory statement explaining that I understand what we are dealing with. There are ways, there are mechanisms available to us to adjust the treatment to compensate for the missed dates. Ideally, it shouldn't happen, but if it does happen, there are ways correcting it. But the wider the gap, the more difficult it becomes to compensate.
Habits formed in childhood can last a lifetime. Unfortunately, once these lifestyle patterns are set, they can be incredibly difficult to change. Educating children about healthy eating helps reduce their exposure to non-communicable diseases, which is the leading cause of death in Ghana. My colleague Emmanuel Jevenu brings you the story of two young friends from Taifa here in Accra, St. Dominic RC Basic School, who are discovering the importance of making healthier food choices thanks to hope for future generations.
Obna Frimpong is a pupil's teacher. In his family, hypertension is not just a diagnosis. It is a generational legacy none of them asks for.
Break time, please.
Pupils of Taifa St. Dominic RC Basic School eagerly rush out of their classroom, excited for a brief escape from their studies.
I enjoyed today's class.
Sedinam Kalan and her best friend, Gloria Boatima, go to the eateries every break to buy food together.
Going to buy fried rice and maybe some carbonated drink.
Their choice of food is often junk and carbonated drinks. It is a routine they enjoy, but little do they know the potential risks they are exposing themselves to. While these meals are tasty, they could be leading them down a path towards non-communicable diseases like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and cancer, just to name but a few. Although NCDs are more prevalent in adults, the foundation for these diseases can be laid during childhood through exposure to risk factors such as poor diet. As Sedinam and Gloria head back from the eateries, they stumble upon some volunteers teaching pupils how to prepare simple, healthy meals like salad.
I have my lentils like this, okay? I can just decide to tell them like this for my salad.
Coordinator for the Preventing NCDs Among Ghanaian Children project, Emanuela Kwame, explains the inspiration behind this initiative.
NCDs are the leading cause of about 45% of all deaths in Ghana and 41% of deaths among the youth in Ghana. We need to focus our attention on preventing NCDs. And it is good that we can start with the young ones because people form their habits at very young ages. If we start now, we are assured that they can grow into responsible adults.
Headmistress Christiana Efua Achumboro believes the initiative is transformative. It not only impacts the pupils, but also extends to their families.
We are putting this into the children. They grow up with it. They know what the risks involved in it. As of now, as we are taking them through, they will be selective in whatever they eat. They will know that this one, if I continue to consume it, if I grow up, this is what will happen to me.
Early awareness and prevention can lead to healthier lifestyle choices. Sedinam and Gloria make a resolution.
I am going to put a stop to eating a lot of junk foods like fried rice and carbonated drinks. And I'll eat a lot of fruits and vegetables to stay healthy. I also urge my friends, my families, and my siblings also eat a lot of fruits and vegetables to also keep them healthy and exercise daily.
With newfound knowledge, Sedinam, Gloria, and the hundreds of Taifa St. Dominic RC basic pupils can embark on a journey towards healthier living. Emmanuel Jivanu, Joy Prime.
A bit longer on education, and Kwabena Frimpong is a pupils teacher. He's grappling with the double burden of hypertension and diabetes. His family is no stranger to high blood pressure, a relentless affliction that spans generations, affecting his parents, siblings, and wife. These non-communicable diseases have heaped a heavy financial burden on the Frimpongs, straining their resources and impacting their quality of life. Here are excerpts from our latest Hotline documentary, NCDs, The Silent Epidemic, co-produced by Emmanuel Jivanu and Seriam Abla de Souza.
Kwabena Frimpong is a pupils teacher. In his family, hypertension is not just a diagnosis. It is a generational legacy none of them asked for. His parents, siblings, and even his wife navigates the daily challenges of managing high blood pressure.
Well, with the BP, I know it is more or less a hereditary issue because in my father's line, my mother's line, it's there. As it stands now, I think I'm the fourth born of my parents. And three of us, myself, my younger brother after me, and my sister I come after, we are all on BP medication. My wife herself is hypertensive. Hers is due to pregnancy. The pregnancy induced. It was hell when she was carrying that pregnancy. So I think midway the pregnancy, baby got shooting up. At a point, I think even 2 weeks or so before birth, he has to be hospitalized. Then after birth, it has not normalized again, so he was put on BP medication.
Hypertension and diabetes often coexist due to shared risk factors like obesity and an unhealthy lifestyle. Having hypertension or diabetes may increase the risk of developing the other.
With the diabetes, I think it was 3 years ago. That one also, I was having some funny feelings one morning, so I decided to go for checkup. And when I went, my blood sugar level was very high. I think at that time it was 13 point something. A week later when I went, it looks like it was still high. So he told me that we have to start the treatment. So he placed me on medication. And later on too, he directed me to go and see a nutritionist as to the type of food I should be taking into regularizing.
So we say diabetes and then hypertension are like brother and sister. So when somebody has diabetes that is not properly managed or early detected and controlled, it's able to stimulate some systems in the body to the extent that the blood pressures go up. So when you live with diabetes that is not properly managed or controlled, it can lead to high blood pressure. Yes. It can lead to high blood pressure. And again, if the person develops the two that is not well controlled, it can lead to heart diseases and then brain diseases like strokes and the likes.
So for an individual living with high blood pressure or diabetes or obesity or cancer, the impact comes from various areas. Okay, so first of all, the most common thing is with finances. it puts a big dent in the finances of the individual, in that they have to go for regular hospital visits, they have to buy medication, and the buying of the medication is about 70 to 75% of what the income that they are generating. NCD research that was done in Gamashi, it's about 600, the people earn about 600 cedis per month, okay, on the average. That's the salary that people earn, and they're using about 75% of their salary just to buy medication. That's for those who are living with these NCDs.
In a more recent study that was conducted and funded by the Farm Access Foundation, we realized that at the individual level, it cost approximately 6,266, to control or manage, diabetes.
You're still watching Joy Newsroom with me, Pius Kojo Baka. We are back with more. Please stay. Welcome back to Joy Newsroom. The West African Examination Council, WAEC, has discovered a new strategy of examination malpractice by candidates who sit for their examinations. Candidates in their new modus operandi of cheating have now resorted to inserting contacts of their parents with money stashed in their answer booklets. According to WAEC, this approach aims to induce and compromise examiners to award them undeserving grades. More in this report.
Of 569,095 candidates, made up of 282,648 males and 286,447 females from 19,506 participating schools, have registered for this year's school examination. This figure represents a decrease of 5.29% compared to a 2023 entry figure of 600,900. Head of Corporate Affairs at WAEC, John Kapi, said the council has so far received over 55 million Ghana cedis from the government, and arrangements are being made for the release of the remainder.
Sure, we have received enough finances to be able to conduct the examination. I indicated a figure of 55.8 million that we've received, and as I speak, there are plans that are being made for the release of the remainder of the examination fee so as to enable us process the results and release them at the appropriate time. But as I said, whatever we receive right now will enable us conduct the examination. And then we'll also, like I said, they have made plans to release further funds for us to be able to complete the process.
He, however, cautioned candidates to desist from seeking external support in the course of the examination.
It's becoming alarming because the rate at which they are doing it, and this time around, they are even including phones of their parents, and that for us is a worrying situation. We also have situations where, they put some amounts of money. Some of them will put in 50 Ghana cedis, some put 100, some even put more than 100 Ghana cedis in there. So we think that for us, soliciting external assistance is punishable. And so we want them to desist from this so that we can have a very, smooth examination.
How did you discover this? Is it the examiners who reported, or it was through your investigations that you discovered it?
The examiners would usually report to us whatever they discover in the examination script. So these are things that our examiners discovered and reported to us.
Do you have instances whereby some examiners did not report this type of incidents to you?
That would be difficult to tell because we would only know because they are the ones who receive the scripts, they are the ones who are marking them. So if there have been situations like that, we would not be able to report that. But at least what we're talking about are the ones that have been reported to us.
Head of Legal at WAEC, Mr. Victor Brew, also revealed that 19 cases of examination malpractices were recorded last year. Out of these cases, 4 have been convicted.
Right from 2023, as we indicated earlier, we have had 19 cases recorded. Now, recorded does not mean that there were only 19, incidents. But to say that out of all the incidents, the ones that were seen to have been legally ripe for investigation, further investigations, and for the court processes to be triggered, were 19 recorded. Now, out of it, a total number of 13 still under investigations, as I said, because then, the police will have to do their work and make sure that from their perspective, what we call a prima facie case has been made, and that all the evidence, relevant evidence, are well documented for prosecution. But to say that, I'm glad to say that 6 of these cases are in court, wherefore, in terms of those who were found or suspected to have been involved in examination malpractice, 4 have been convicted and 2 hearings are ongoing. Yes, as of 4 July 2024. Yes.
The West African Examination Council is soliciting the collective effort of all examination officials, heads of schools, and leaders in the community to ensure the smooth conduct of the examination.
Now, Manya Krobo Senior High Technical School has qualified to the national competition of the National Science and Math Quiz for the first time in 4 years. Macrosec came up from a keenly contested match against Asamankesi SHS to emerge victorious with some 45 points in the last Eastern Regional Qualifiers contest. The lads from the Manya Krobo said they are poised to turn the fortunes of the school around in this year's national competition. James Aveji has more.
Manya Krobo Senior High Technical School, that they have just won the last contest for the Eastern Regional Qualifiers. They won with some 45 points ahead of Asamankesi Senior High School, who had some 35.10 points gap. The competition went to the final and 4th round when they had some 35 points, with Asamankesi coming second with 31 points, and they called that off with some 10 points. And they are so excited. Mind you, they are qualifying for the first time in 4 years. For the past 4 years, they have not been to the national championship before, and today they have got that slot. What does today's victory mean to you? 4 years.
It means everything. And we can't wait to get to our school to meet the happiness that is waiting us there. So what we are doing here is a small of it. If you can follow us to our campus, we'll show you what we can say.
I will show you what Macrosec.
Talk to me. What's the message to the other schools?
What I want to tell them is that today has been an enticing moment for us. In fact, it has been a patriotic moment for us. So they should wait for us. We are coming. We are going.
What does it mean? It's uncontinuous. What does it mean?
It all means that we are elevated. We are so happy. It has been a nice moment for us. So what I'm trying.
Scientific term?
No, please.
Then what term is it?
It's English.
English.
Yes, please.
I see. So it must be Shakespearean English then.
Yeah. So they have to wait for us, and we will come there. We are coming to perform massively. In fact, we are going to cause a havoc to the medulla oblongata, the cerebellum. In fact, the cerebellum. In fact, when we attack them, they will all become psychopaths. And I'm promising them that. Us. This is Macrosec, and we shall fly above Mount Yogaga always. Great Macrosec 2024 NSMQ team. What we are trying to tell them is that we are the foundation, and that we are the strength of Macrosec. We will make sure our headmistress, we used to call Philly Mama, will always be the Philly Mama forever.
Why is she Philly Mama?
Because she loves us a lot. In fact, she keeps us in her heart. And our coordinator.
And you have her in your heart too.
Same. And our coordinator, Mr. Emmanuel Amako, popularly known as Kingpin, and Mr. Ebenezer Glover, we say thank you so much for being there for us, because I know without you, we wouldn't have reached this moment. Sir Orlando, we say thank you.
We have a business story for you before we part company. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has called on the African continent to consider a shift from a common macroeconomic convergence that focuses on similar policies on inflation, public debt, among others, and rather pursue a continental mobile money interoperability. If successfully adopted, according to the Vice President, a continent-wide digital payment system will not only improve intra-African trade, but will promote financial inclusion and formalize businesses on the continent. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was addressing the Africa Prosperity Network in Accra, who argued that an efficient continent-wide mobile money interoperability could, in the meantime, substitute Africa's pursuit for a common currency. Latif Idrisu has more.
The African continent has, over the years, pursued the macroeconomic convergence policy which is aimed at stabilizing the regional economy and also safeguarding it from excessive fluctuations due to external shocks. But that has over the years been a difficult feat to achieve. The Vice President, during his presentation here at the African Prosperity Network, made the case that the time has come for the continent to rather pursue a continental level mobile money interoperability. For him, that will go a long way to improve on financial inclusion.
A large proportion of the population unbanked. And so Ghana's example is one that we should learn from in the continent, because when in 2018 we decided to introduce mobile money interoperability, it was the first of its kind on the continent, because we were doing mobile money interoperability not only amongst the telcos, but we're looking at interoperability between the telcos and the banks.
If successfully implemented, the Vice President says a continental mobile money interoperability would easily replace the pursuit for a single currency, an ambitious policy for Africa that has not yet been realized.
When we think about scaling up mobile money interoperability to the entire continent, I believe that doing so will get at the benefits of a payment system without necessarily having a common currency. The idea of a common currency, which came in 1963, has really been overtaken by the digital payments age, that today you can think about the mobile money as a common currency if we make it interoperable.
The founder and executive chairman of the African Prosperity Network, Gabi Ochridako, underscored the need for mobile money interoperability at the continental level to also improve intra-continental trade.
For a continent where majority of our people earn their daily wage through micro, small, and medium enterprises, what is absolutely and undeniably clear to us is that the future of Africa is being more and more defined by the freedom of inclusion, the abundance of opportunities, and the ladder to prosperity which digital economy provides.
Addressing the gathering here, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Ernest Addison, made a point that the concept of interoperable mobile money system can deliver a seamless cross-border payment system across the continent and improve intra-continental trade.
Africa has made giant strides in fintech development and regulation, particularly with its leadership role in mobile money technology space. Therefore, the concept of interoperable mobile money systems holds an enormous potential towards the establishment of a comprehensive cross-border payment interoperability in the short, medium term.
From the Labadi Beach Hotel, this is Latif Idris reporting for Joy News. And here in the studios of Joy, I am Pius Kojo Baka. That's it for Joy Newsroom for today. Do enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye.